Hi, everybody. Jack O'Malley, and I am recording this early in the afternoon on Monday, as I will be changing shortly and heading. I'm going on a tour of some cherry processing facilities and things this afternoon. So I want to learn more about the industry and, of course, an important industry to my district. I'll be doing that this afternoon. And just so that we're not racing, I thought I'd do this early. Hopefully nothing major happens between now and when this posts around 6 p.m. But a couple things I wanted to touch on. Back to school issues I know are out there, very important to all of us. Here we are in the first part of August, and schools should be deciding here shortly as to what is going on. And there's fear out there with regards to kids and staff and everything. I got that. But I over the weekend, I've heard from superintendents on this topic. I've heard from pediatricians on this topic, and all are saying pretty much the same thing with some variations. And there were three reports that I noticed over the weekend as I was doing a little research on this that I thought was interesting. What I'm going to paraphrase here are from the Journal of American Medical Association, the American Academy of Pediatrics, a report, and a world-renowned Toronto's Hospital for Sick Children. And basically what they all say is that kids from that 5 to 14 range really are not a problem. They don't get COVID. They don't pass it on. Those sorts of things. CDC has reported 20 deaths nationwide through this whole thing from ages 5 to 14. So that's not really the issue with the kids. And that's an interesting thing to consider. Now, the question is, what about the staff? Well, now that becomes an issue too, because many teachers are young and in that safer age group. Some are not. What do you do with PPPEs? Do they have enough? Can we get them to the schools? Can we clean? Can we do it? I know there's a gizmo that many school districts are investing in. It's like a mister. You walk through it and you get misted with this stuff, and it kills the COVID bug, I guess. It's proven, and as I understand it, many school districts are, if they're not already purchased it, are looking at it. So things are being done. People are preparing. What I'm getting to here is when it comes to schools, there are some who just say you can't open them. And some school districts have already said it. Now, maybe if you were in an area that was hit hard with COVID, I get that. But what I'm hearing and what I think we should all proceed with is, my opinion, that we need to do this regionally, school district by school district, ISD by ISD, however we want to break this down. The point being is that we have done much of our COVID response in the state of Michigan with a roller, not a fine brush. And with our schools, I believe we need that fine brush, because Ishpeming is different than Romulus, right? So let's let the school boards, the teachers, the parents, the health departments, let them come up with the safe plan, because all indications right now, the science and data right now says, especially those elementary school kids and even into high school, aren't that in that danger zone, right? So that's the science and data. So now let's consider our teachers and our staff essential workers and make sure they get the PPEs and the cleaning and all of that, and let's make sure it works. Maybe that teacher or staff member who is a little more vulnerable, maybe they can be reassigned to do something else for the short term, right? So I don't know what the plan looks like in every school district. That's why I don't think we can paint with a roller, right? We need to paint with a fine brush. So as we move forward, I hope and pray that the governor and others realize that each school is different. Each school district is different. So as we move forward, that's what I would say. And another thing this report commented on is the fact that long distance learning, online learning, I believe, is where we need to be headed so that we have a nice mix of in-class and online, especially for districts like ones in the 101st that can get a ton of snow days. The snow day could almost be gone if we can, like many other states, go to a mix of online and in-class learning. I believe we can do that. I also believe that if we make online learning, a combination, that will help speed long distance or high-speed internet in rural areas. So I see that as all good thing. But right now, if we're not in class, can we guarantee a quality education? We did what we had to do in the spring when no one knew what was going on. But as we move forward, we need to make smart, educated education decisions. So my belief is, as it stands right now with the science and data that I do have, is we need to move forward with our schools locally, regionally, so that everybody can decide their own, not with a roller out of Lansing. So that's just how we move forward. And I'm going to keep pushing for that as we move forward. I think that that's important. And I understand the fears of staff, but I think that we can make this work and we move forward, right? So if one school has a COVID problem as we move forward, do we close the whole district? No, maybe it's just that school. And so we take it case by case as opposed to this just panic. Close them all. I don't think that's wise. We'll see what others think. Last week, the governor vetoed a bill that we, the legislature, had sent to her saying that you need to remove recovering COVID patients from nursing homes and put them in other facilities that are dedicated to recovering COVID patients. She vetoed that bill. As I understand it, Michigan is still the only state left that is putting recovering COVID patients into nursing homes. I go back to a report I read in the early stages of this that the nursing home industry offered a couple of empty nursing homes to the state to put recovering patients in there, but they declined. So I believe it's not this week, but next in our COVID Oversight Committee, I believe we're going to have the department head of Department of Health and Human Services, DHHS. So that's going to be a very interesting discussion. But the governor vetoed that bill. And people say, well, override it. There's no way we'll get the 2/3 vote on that, just the way it is. Just an FYI, save you the question. And all the other states that had been putting recovering COVID patients into nursing homes have stopped. We're the only one. I guess we're special. One of the other things, I know people have fear. Again, as of yesterday, and I'm recording this early, so I don't have Monday's numbers. As of Sunday, 426 new cases with 0 deaths. Again, remember the early days of this pandemic. Everything was illness, death, hospitalizations, respirators, etc. Well, they learned not to put you on a respirator right away. That was not good. Our hospitalizations are down, and the length of time you're in the hospital is shorter. Our numbers of deaths continue to go down, but our number of cases continues to pop up. Not like skyrocketing, but they go up. Again, we are out and about now. It's a virus, and there is a certain amount of herd immunity that younger folks will get and as we move forward. So we need to be realistic about this. We are not dying in the numbers, A, that we were, or B, that they predicted we would. And I know that sounds kind of cold, but it's the truth. We have to look at that this way. If you think COVID is an automatic death sentence, that's not really true. For certain people, certain conditions, it is not good, and I know that. But again, 0 deaths yesterday. 0 deaths yesterday. 0 deaths yesterday. And I think the day before there were 7 out of a state of 10 million. All right. I got a note from a constituent. I think a constituent. I didn't bother to ask. But they were basically calling me every name in the book and a misogynist and all of this stuff because I wouldn't be upset with a Republican male governor. Well, I replied back that said, I'm not replying to this ignorant comment. Have a great day. But I'm going to bring it up here. You know, it's easy to call names. It's easy to understand when we have this political, that's where we're at in this world. But I can assure you, and I've said it before, if you watch these daily, you know, I don't care if it was a Republican or a Democrat in office. They should not have the unilateral power that this governor believes she has by misinterpreting that 1945 law. And it's in the Court of Appeals. We should be hearing in that case sometime this month. It should be heard by the Supreme Court early next, and we'll have an answer. But my point is, I don't care if she is male, female, Martian. I disagree with her. Now think about this. I'm a misogynist because I disagree with her. She happens to be female, right? That's just, the way it is. I would disagree with anybody with what she's been doing since this first began. Now, I remind you that the House of Representatives, the Republican-led legislature, was with Governor Whitmer in the early stages. Everybody was with her. She was making decisions that everybody said, yeah, we don't know what's going on here. I even said, man, this is a tough position for her. I got that. We even, if you remember, we appropriated $150 million right away without asking. I can't remember here. It was $50 million, I think, for medical supplies, $50 million for hospitals specifically, and $50 million that she could use as she needed. We appropriated that. We said, go. We were helping the governor. During the weeks that followed, she would put out EO after EO after EO, and we would go through it and say, oh, wait a minute, Governor, maybe we could do it a little differently this way. And she would adjust her EOs accordingly. We were working together. Then, I don't know what happened. I can guess that somebody came in and said, hey, Governor, did you see this 1945 law? I think we could interpret it. I don't know if that happened, but all of a sudden, boom, she stopped listening to the legislature, gave us the hand. So, if I'm misogynist because I disagree with our governor, regardless of her sex, no, I'm not. I'm not misogynist. I am an American, a Michigander, who disagrees with how our governor has been handling things since after those first early stages. So, I believe in other states, if you look, other states have, co-equal branches of government, and they're doing quite well, all right? Their businesses aren't collapsing. That's another thing. Over the weekend, I heard from other businesses, they have closed their doors since our governor re-upped last week the indoor ban and limit to 10. That's indiscriminate. That's crazy. That's punitive. That's foolish. So that's why I oppose our governor. And I will fight to get co-equal branches of government back so that we can have common sense reign in the land as opposed to one person rule. So that's how I see it on a rainy Monday. That's why I'm inside, by the way. It's raining outside. So I'm going to keep working hard. You keep praying. I'll keep praying. We're going to get through this thing, and we're going to get this thing fixed. Don't know exactly how that's going to look. Don't know exactly when that's going to happen, but I know it will happen because I have faith. All right? We'll see you on Wednesday. Take care.